Selaco.
Mine is the pathing is a little bit less important just because all I'm doing is I'm setting up spawns and having them path out of those spawns, and then basically a lot of the other things are random. So it's just going off of a timer, and it's just
Mm-hmm.
spawning a certain amount of enemies based on if a certain amount of enemies are present on the map, and the amount of enemies that can be present on the map increases as time goes on, and some other things, and trying to get a rudimentary point system. And I'm basically making like a more like a Call of Duty Zombies sort of setup. So I'm not sure if you saw the map I posted from Doom 2016 on the modding thing. That's essentially what that was like an old uh, 2016 map where I had done the same thing, even made the pack-a-punch on it. So I wanted to do something similar here, but instead of going the route with the zombies, I was going to make it more roguelite. So like every time you started it, it basically give you a different selection of things. I'm not sure if I'm going to go that route or what I'm going to do yet. I'm just kind of like I'm figuring that part of things out. That's the complicated part. While I'm sort of like messing with these models, I wanted to give myself some more time because I was crunching on that, and that's sort of complicated. That and the enemies in this game are really strange. The ones you think would be a bigger threat are not a bigger threat, and the ones that there's some sleepers, if you know what I mean. I'm sure you know what I mean. Like juggernauts, they just jump at you like crickets, and that's like it. Like, what are these guys even doing? Jumping, being loud, spraying all over the place. If you know how to utilize cover, they're like a non-threat. Snipers, you take one step out of cover, you're dead. If you don't immediately react to the sniper, dead. So I thought it was like a great idea to do like some waves where it was like, a whole bunch of a certain enemy type, and I would had this brilliant idea of separating out my waves by what level or floor it was on, or what my spawns, and then spawn some snipers up there, and immediately regretted that idea. Snipers are OP. I hate snipers in this game.
Sometimes you want to be a little bit of a masochist, you know?
If you want to be a masochist, you just got to utilize some snipers. That's all you got.
Yeah.
It's very obvious they were just meant to sit in one place and be that one threat. Like that, it's like that one thing from the Cyclops turret from Destiny. It's just like that one thing they spawn in to do, and then you're dead, and you're like, what even happened?
Ugh. Yeah, my computer's experiencing extreme slowdown.
Yeah, the new version loads a little bit slower on mine for sure.
I think
That
I
last
saw
map
that
took so long to load because
that
of so
too.
how many sectors. Because I'm not sure if you saw that one. Didn't show you, but there's that one piece of like it looked like a chain link fence that was standing up on the map. I actually I had to cut that. That was an extreme like thing because I had to cut each like I don't know how to put it, each hole in the chain link twice. So like I cut it in half to flip the texture because it actually has a texture in there. Otherwise, if it was just clear and it was just air in the middle, it wouldn't glow the way I would want it to. I had to like do a lot of effort to get the hologram thing looking right. And that thing's like shit. When I looked at it, I was like, hell, I thought my castle was elaborate. You've got like as much vertices as my whole castle in one in one model. Like going extreme here. But the cool thing is the end result for the models, they don't lag. So like if you do something really intricate for a 3D platform or intricate system of 3D platforms to get your model, it actually doesn't lag the output. And it actually utilizes the textures from your resources the way I'm doing it. So like you don't have to have a whole different skin and do a bunch of whole different things. It's just like fixing the offsets that you made for whatever you did inside of the engine, inside of the builder, and then it's just outputting it. Did you see that the guy who made Turbo Overkill's got a new GZ Doom game now?
Yeah, no, I haven't seen that. But I'll probably hear about it. Well, I just did. Alright, let's test this map out and test my little theories.
Total Chaos is the name of it. I'm wondering how good it's going to be. All I know is Turbo was like insane for what it was.
The one
All
I know
these
that is like the
games.
ultraly insane, like is like kind of like cruelty squad.
I don't know. I haven't seen that one, but I know that like I mean, like Ultra Kill's getting kind of crazy, especially since they did that whole refresh update, and then this game's getting nuts with the randomizer. I mean, some of the things they're adding, like the randomizer, this game's going to be replayable forever. And then you got Turbo, and then all that kind of stuff happening. Man, that game was just. I'm hoping they come out with a sequel for that one. That was actually enjoyable. Not sure if you played that one. That's just. I didn't imagine I would be playing a game where I'm riding, like I'm essentially riding my rocket chainsaw leg through groups of enemies off the tops of cars. I'm chainsaw legging Megatron because literally one of the enemies might as well be Megatron.
All right. Did I block off? Okay. Yes. Clear. That'll help. And actually, let's try that again. Keep that up. Come on. I know you don't like all this stuff that's happening. Oh. There you go. Let's try this again.
What special is that you're using for the monster thing?
What do you mean?
The monster portal. What line special number is that?
I think for regular teleporter, it is just 70. You put it as repeatable action and when monster walks over. and that just dedicates it for teleportation for monster. And you want to get also. It's not technically not a like a thing like a thing actor that's listed in Selaco's thing, but you know in Ultimate Doom Builder, there's the teleporter designation thing. You want to also make sure that you have that, which is just actor 14, which is this thing right here.
I don't know if that's gonna work.
It does work actually.
I'm
Teleportation
talking about
works.
the I know the teleportation isn't the issue.
We'll see.
I don't think they're gonna path.
We'll see. We can
I
always test.
I I
We can always
I
test.
I know, but based on my experiments and some reading I just did, because I've already done experiments on this, mind you.
Then tell
I
me what
I
this is.
I don't
Then
think
tell
they're
me
gonna
what this
pass.
is.
I
Tell me
what did they
this.
pass?
Yes.
Did they pass? Did
Yeah,
they pass?
they're right here. Look at this.
Let the I 1 second. I'm trying to look at your. Wait,
The,
are you streaming?
yeah, on YouTube.
Oh, I'm not looking on YouTube.
Hon, let me restart everything. It worked. It fucking worked. I'm fucking
It
genius.
did work. It did work. Okay.
Yeah, a big brain.
Because what it was saying what it was saying was they won't path unless they're guided. So I didn't know if they would be guided enough or not by that line, because that line is technically, you get what I'm saying? It's the same thing we were talking about earlier. Those lines are not, they're not communicating with each other, so we're trying to game it by pushing it past the line. Now, if it does work, then that's fine. Because, like, the last time I tried it, what happened was they just, like, walked away, but it was a different portal type I was utilizing.
Yeah, no. The thing is, like, I put a teleporter right in front of the line portal. That's how I went around it.
Oh, where did you put the destination for it?
I'll show you when I'm done. Watch this. They're coming. They're coming. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. I know you can do it. There you go. I'm a genius. But anyways, yeah. Like I said, the teleporter is like 1 pixel in front of the line portal.
Yeah. No,
Right
no.
here.
I get that. Where'd you put the destination for that line?
Okay, hon.
Because it asked for a destination.
Yeah, right here. See? Right here. This is the sector, and that's the teleporter designation actor.
Okay. I got it. I get what you're doing. Okay, cool. That's how they path through it. It does do the pathing for that. It doesn't do the pathing for the visual teleporters. Cool. So that did work.
Yeah, that's my workaround. I'm a fucking genius. Big brain. They said I was not. They said it was impossible. They have not met my.
No, it what they weren't saying that, like, no, you actually did the one thing I've been trying to figure out, because somebody was talking about putting another portal one in front, but I couldn't figure out which type.
Yeah, just a
And
regular.
next stick,
Just a
when I
regular
asked,
teleportal.
I go into the modding chat and I ask about portals, and they're just like, we don't really utilize portals. And I was like, okay, that's not helpful. All right, bye. And then I went and just tried it. But I was trying to use static works. So like static does work.
Yeah.
So what I was trying to do was like have like a third room where like I have like a static system, like one's a static portal and another's a visual portal, and that way it would connect. But this is much simpler than even thinking about that because now
Yeah.
don't even have to worry about that. That was actually very helpful. Now my things are going to be fixed for
Exactly.
sure.
It's just like pure like for me, it was a stroke of fucking genius when I came up with it. It's like, wait a minute, what if I just put a teleporter right in front of the line portal? What would happen?
Brain explode. I'm not sure if you need what. Why do you have that many pathing nodes?
Because just in case.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's why
I don't
it's
bother with that many. I don't
yeah.
don't have a need to bother for that. Well, if I did that many, I would be screwed.
Yeah, for me, it's like just in case something is wrong and something is weird, I was like, better cover
I was gonna
around.
ask in case there was a specific reason because I know I do some shit for a specific reason where it's like if you don't do it that way because that's what I was trying to tell because like I had a problem with how Grim was like drawing things. I was like, dude, the way you're drawing things, you're asking for like overlapping vectors with zero space between them and extra lines and because like dude was like he has like this OCD thing where he can't do rise over run for some weird reason, and he wants to just like flip the grid all the time, not understanding every time he flips the grid, he's setting like the grid points and like I don't know, like you know what I mean? Like it's in like non-space instead of it being like one to one, where like everything is like one, either one. You get what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
when you flip that grid, it's like you can have a grid point that's in between two grid points. It would be like zero point 0.5 or 0.25 or something or weird like that. And so what happens is when he lays a vector down with it late with the grid orientated one way and then flips it the other way, all of a sudden he's got like two lines that are butted together and they're not meeting or something. And I kept telling him, like, as a beginner, he's making it really hard on himself by doing things that way and just like doesn't listen to me at all. And I'm like, come
Yeah.
on, guy. Like you gotta like I understand being OCD, but you gotta figure out how the engine works too, because the engine's OCD. You literally do something the wrong way, the engine just says, no, I'm not gonna do that today. Like we just found out, like we just talked about and worked around you do it the wrong way. Like I tried every type of portal but this type of portal because I wasn't thinking the teleporter. You know, I didn't think about the monster pathing through a teleporter. I didn't think about it. It didn't click in my head. And then I just sat here and watched you do it. And it's like, great, that's a good workaround. But that's literally what they were talking about in a Reddit thread. But like, dudes don't even word things right. They were talking about one type of portal in front of another type of portal. And I'm like,
I think it's
okay,
like probably weird translation. Also probably
yeah,
with those weird translation things of, oh, like teleporter is also meaning a portal in other languages. So I guess like when they try to say teleporter, it auto translated to portal. I guess.
I was like, what are you talking about? Like static? Because somebody was almost wording it like I thought they were talking about putting a static in front of it. And I tried that and it doesn't work. So I was like, okay, what are you guys talking about? Because if you try doing it any other way, the portals will actually they either won't work or you'll get some trippy. Like let's just say this, you'll break reality because I've done that a few times. You'll either break reality or you'll basically try to walk through it and it'll be like there's a glass pane there.
Mm-hmm. I was like, a big brain time. What's the most simplest thing? Teleporters. Because I know for a fact they can go through teleporters, so it's like, why not just put a teleporter right in front of the line portal? Okay, 85. Yep. Clear, clear, save, get rid of the junk right here. Save, save.
That little revelation actually, that little revelation just like,
Blew your
damn,
mind.
didn't exactly blow my mind as much as
Like, what the heck? It was so simple in the first place. Why? Just why?
if dude had said teleporter, like if somebody had just said teleportable, tele teleporter instead, just that's what my brain is broke on. They said portal. They said put one type of portal in front of another type of portal.
Because technically they're not wrong.
And
Teleporter is
technically, they're not wrong, but words matter. Words matter, guys. Words matter.
yeah,
Words
they're
matter. The way you
but
say words matter.
yeah, but it also could be a weird thing of weird translation kind of thing. Also, I don't know what kind of form you were in. It could have been just a weird translation where words can mean multiple different things.
I'm not exactly upset because now I understand how static portals work for room over room, which is real handy whenever you want to make, like, you want to simplify what you're making by making this other room so that you can basically, you don't have to have like three or four sets of 3D floors and some other things to make whatever you're making on that second floor, too.
Yeah,
So it's kind of cool. Like I like room over room. Room over room is actually really handy if you look into it with static portals. It's just really finicky because you have to make sure your dimensions are all matching if you're going to make more than one entrance to the room that's over the room. Because if you make more than one entrance, they have to be congruent. If you don't make your entrances congruent, if you know what I mean, they have to be spaced all the same because otherwise the engine doesn't know how to. Basically, it's going to make the sound and everything travel, but in order to do that, everything has to be one to one and only have one real path to it. If you start doing not non-Euclidean stuff where you start to have multiple real paths to it, which is basically saying that it's like twisted and you have like three or four different, I don't know, like it's strange to explain, but you get what I'm saying. Non-Euclidean is basically where you can have like a portal loop back over on itself or something.
yeah, I know what you
There
mean
would
by
be some,
non-Euclidean.
yeah. It's like it can't figure out the Cartesian coordinates. It can't figure out how to path from here to here because the coordinates don't make sense. You're going from one coordinate and then all of a sudden you're jumping to another, and it doesn't know how to do that.
Now I just need to make some screenshots. Let's see, right about here. Looks perfect. Hold on, I need to turn off my overlay.
When are you gonna quit with this low res remake stuff and finally do something that's like Selaco grade?
Um, other thing is like, uh,
I
I
mean,
want
obviously,
these.
to me, you're capable. It's just you want to make this Duke stuff.
Yeah, I just wanted to like if I were to pass off to like my say my secret level I have in mind, I'm gonna use high definition more high definition stuff. It's just I don't know how to make these low quality textures I found over the internet more high quality.
Yeah, I don't really dabble with art. That's always been my one downfall. That's why it blows my mind when Yidge comes into the, if you ever see him come into the modding chat, he's like trying so hard with the mapping. I'm just like, man, if you only knew how I felt about your art, man, like you need to get with some mapping because like here's the thing I love about Selico textures. Like you could stretch them, you could deform them, you can cut them into small little pieces, you could do all sorts of stuff, and at the end of the day, it doesn't get grainy. It doesn't like get really warped or strange looking. like some of the other low res, you know, because like a lot of the stuff on 667 is fan made, or unless you go and you grab OTEX, you know.
A bit. I just need to do something. Yeah.
Probably gonna find something to play. I'm not sure. I was thinking maybe hell Trepanning Break, or I don't know. I finished Doom: The Dark Ages and it was good, but it's almost too easy. Almost too
Yeah,
easy.
well, it's like when I saw they just pulled out of the Cthulhu book, I was like, what the heavens? Cthulhu's canon? That means lore. Other HP Lovecraft stuff is canon.
Oh well, um, that stuff was kind of anticlimactic.
I know, and this thing's like, in the actual
I
Lovecraftian
mean,
Lovecraftian stuff, Cthulhu is not even a god. He's just more like a high
well,
priest.
let me put it this way: unless those were Cthulhu Star Children, you basically murdered Cthulhu verse. Like it ain't coming. Like it might be canon, but I don't think they're coming back.
Well, there's other gods besides Cthulhu. Well, Cthulhu's not a god, first of all, technically speaking. And there's other gods besides Cthulhu that can fuck
I
you up
mean,
more.
I mean, there was four of them, and they're all dead.
Oh, you mean in the Dark Ages, yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying that like they got to have a lot of gods because he already outed four of
Well,
them.
like, Nyarlathotep is still a thing.
I like how stupid the one was. Is like, okay, I'm just gonna eat the most dangerous thing in all of existence. Like it's not gonna tear my heart out from the inside.
Uh, need to get the game overlay. Here's game overlay. Turn it off now.
Was a good game though because I like how they made it somewhat forgiving, but at the same time, like it's not. Like about halfway through, that game started just getting insanely hard. But once you get over the curve, it's like it's fun. You just got to make sure you have your counters timed, or they're gonna eat you alive.
Yeah.
I just wish they would have made the voiceovers normal time in the 150% mode. Like you didn't have to make everybody sound like Alvin the Chipmunk. Come on. Kind of takes the fun out of it. I can't take it serious.
Come on. There you go.
I like how they finally went back to some good secrets and stuff. And some of those secrets in the other realm were very non-Euclidean.
Yeah. That's like kind of lore accurate to relay, where it's non-Euclidean. If you don't know what relay is, that's where Cthulhu is supposed to be sleeping.
Well, I mean that's what the area. I mean, it was the I forget what they called it, but it started with an R. But it's very obviously a stand-in for that. Like obviously that's what that was.
Like, I don't understand why they're trying to go work around it when it's technically public domain.
Yeah, I don't understand it either. It's been public domain for the longest, and all people have done is add to the story. So, in all honesty, Cthulhu verse would just like go wild if they tied it in. Like the money would be there for real,
Well,
but
they were not really hiding that it was Cthulhu, but besides just calling it the old one.
I mean that's pretty much that. I mean that's pretty much pulled from the books. I mean.
Like, there's many old, but technically there's many old ones besides Cthulhu.
Yeah, I know. I like how they're pulling it out though, because if they pull this out, technically they could tie it back into Quake. Since Quake is basically directly Cthulhu verse.
Yeah,
I mean, that was Nero
like,
Hotep.
yeah, Shab Nogara.
Oh wait, no, it wasn't Shrill Nota. It was yeah, it was yeah, it was Shub-Niggurath or something like that. I think
Yeah,
is the name.
one of the other.
I think the goat of the forest or something like that is the other moniker for that one. It's something like that.
Like, we can't just go out with just one freaking seat without going to another Cthulhuan god. Like, it also shows how strong-willed Doomguy is.
I mean, okay, did you catch the one thing about the Dread Mace?
Yeah.
It's infinitely dense.
Yeah, which is
The Doom guy's carrying around something that weighs an infinite amount by definition.
Yeah. But also, it's like,
And
it shows how strong the Doomguy by will is, because, like, according to, like, if you actually play pen and paper Cthulhu,
people go mad. I mean, just the presence of the Dread Mace makes people, if you didn't read that too, that made scientists go mad just being in the presence of it. And he's carrying it around like it's nothing. He's using it as a damn weapon. The only thing I have to say, though, is there is one point, like, when he's sitting in the bubble in the other realm with the old ones or whatever, and he wakes up, it's just like they made him show one moment of humanity, and I kind of feel sorry for the guy. He just kind of looked around in a way that you can kind of tell it's just like, God damn, what is this? What is this, and how am I gonna get out of here? And then when he when you realize he realized what his plan was and what he was going to do, that's when it was like, damn. I kind of feel bad for the guy. And then he immediately got his rage back on, you know what I mean? It was kind of like, it's kind of like he gets that anger when he knows he's about to have to do something. Because he looked around for a couple seconds like, oh, goddamn, I'm not going to have to do that. I'm going to have to do that. And then he fucking got his anger on, and then he did it. And then he was so fucking angry, I'm not sure if he played through that whole section. Something big happens, and then he...
I haven't played it, but I've seen Let's Plays of it.
Basically, dude was so fucking angry he couldn't die. And he fucking woke up in hell and fought his way out of fucking hell as a zombie. I love it because they had a whole ultra kill moment. You literally fucking bashed the fucking boat up against the gate, and I was like thinking ultra kill when you were riding in the boat. I was like, damn, this is like after he fought Leviathan and then the ultra kill. I was like, what is this?
Yeah. I was like, what kind of confused me about it is, oh great. Yeah. I'm gonna have to fix that. Okay.
Well, what confuses me about it is if they're able just to do a satanic ritual and somebody who's strong-willed enough can get back to the other side, why didn't they just do that with Valen's son instead of him, like, having to just, like, plot hole? You know, Valen watched the frickin' the whole ceremony and everything, and yet we're not going to use that to revive his son. We're just going to pave over that. We're going to make his son the freaking icon of sin, just story reasons.
Because that's, like, technically what happened in the original Doom War. Like,
yeah, but... Yeah, I guess technically you're right, but at the same time, it's like, it's just sort of getting caught. They're sort of not thinking about the plot holes here. I'm just saying that in Dark Ages, that whole device, it would have been cooler if he just fought his way out of hell, period. And that been how he revived. Well, let's say he fought his way out of hell, and as soon as he got out of hell, he started regenerating. That would have been perfectly fine to me. I wouldn't even asked any fucking questions. But as soon as Valen's involved in a ritual where they literally just like cut their palm, and the palm amount of blood is enough to redo a whole human body. I'm like, okay, why didn't we do this for Valen's son? This is just a glaring pothole. Was Valen's son like not
because
strong-willed enough to climb
well
out of hell?
well
Like
that or does screw that guy in particular. You know,
Valen's son is a little bitch. That is one thing I gotta say.
just screw that guy in particular. You know, we just don't like
It's
him.
'cause well, my problem with Valen's son is he's got a chip on his shoulder about Doom Guy, and he's like, all the power should be the Sentinels, and I'm like, guy, he has the power because he's not a Sentinel. That was the reason he got the power. They weren't going to give it to a Sentinel, so be happy someone's got the power. The whole point was they trusted him because he hated he first he brought the word of the demons, if that is still canonical, because they're twisting it to where the makers seem to be from the same place, so who knows if that's the case or not. But they supposedly empowered him for that reason.
I yeah, like they had like if I understand lore originally, like they had no idea demons even existed until like Doom Guy appeared.
I know, but now they're starting to make it. Here's the thing. Here's the reason I start to say it's getting convoluted. Obviously, the makers are being shown as having the same origins as the demon race,
Yeah,
like some with
because
similar
yeah,
origins,
yeah, like, because like
because they were all made by Davoth, right? Everything
yeah,
was made by Davoth. The father is just a Gestoff that rose up after Davoth fell. That's really all that it is. And even father hasn't even really done a whole lot of creating. That's the one thing. From what I understand, everything that's here is sort of Davoth made it. Now, I sort of do have a theory that humans were not Davoth's creation, but
someone
because
else's.
that's the reason why I'm saying that is the demons disappeared, but humanity didn't, and then at the same time, the Doomslayer became depowered, but he didn't disappear. So that tells me that, you know, and the other thing you gotta remember is they've already canonically confirmed that Hell changed the Doomslayer before he got his power. So he was already empowered or had something going on before
Because
he even became the
Animal,
Slayer.
yeah, because Weird
He stopped
Animal
eating and
has no
shit.
powers.
Yeah, he stopped eating. He didn't need to eat, and then he started healing like the demons would. He would get a grievous wound and he would just heal from it according to the lore. So like basically he started getting twisted by his experiences in hell already. So he was already so my thing is like everybody's like, okay, well, what's the future of the Doomslayer if he's depowered at the end? Well, yeah, he was depowered, but he's still like a vessel, or like you get what I'm saying. He's still powered in some way, and obviously,
He's
whatever's
still
going on with his
powered.
anger, yeah, whatever's going on with his anger is obviously being cued in as like something that's stronger than whatever they gave him.
Like
So they're
so
gonna pull him
uh
out later.
yeah, it's like probably because like most likely like whatever dimension he came from originally, those humans in particular are just probably just more strong-willed.
I don't know about that. I don't think that's the thing. I think it's just whatever's going on with his anger, because like obviously,
Because like the multiverse exists, like why not?
well, think about it, dude. It all started with his anger. That's why I'm saying it's got something to do with his anger. Like, think about it. It's anger at his commanding officer for ordering him to fire against civilians. Smacked his commanding officer so fucking hard that he literally he fucked up his commanding officer, and then he gets sent to Mars as a punishment. Ends up at Mars, and then ends up
No,
fighting his
no,
way
like
through hell. Decides to stay in hell.
the thing is he didn't go to Mars. He went to the moon of Mars,
Well,
Phobos.
yeah, I know, but you get what I'm saying. Like I'm just generalizing on the story, but you
Yeah,
get my point.
but if you want to actually just go for the lore of Doom 3,
I don't know if I consider like they made Doom 3 canon with Dark Ages, but I still don't consider Doom Guy like Doom Guy as we
well,
have him,
it's
and
been
they're
it's
two
been
separate Marines.
yeah, but it's been canonical that that Marine and this Marine are two separate people because of the multiverse.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know because like my whole thing is like Doom 3 kind of it does exist in its own realm to me, and it doesn't really have any like the vagary showing up to me is just like a multiverse thing, like what you're talking about, and I don't really consider the two connected per se because he's obviously they made a lot of efforts to show that they're not the same Marines. Like Doom 3 Marine, the both of the Doom 3 Marines and Doom 1 and 2 Marine is entirely different people. Because the reason why I say that is if you follow the timeline, it goes Doom 1, Doom 2, into Doom 64, and then Doom 64 leads into Doom 2016 or New Era. I'll just say New Era because Dark Ages came before 2016, but you get what I'm saying. Like it went from 64 because they added that whole boss fight. They actually updated it when they re-released 64 with a whole different thing, and then it was like that one thing threw you into that other dimension. I forget what the name of the demon is.
The
It's like
Great
a new
Mother.
demon. The mother, yeah, it was like a sister of the mother or some shit because you
Mm.
killed the mother and then the other one threw you or some shit when you went to go kill it. I forget. I don't know. They added something in there where it threw you. Anyway, long story short, that's how it flowed for me. But they went through great lengths to show to me that Doom 3 had nothing to do with it unless he somehow got back out of hell to experience Doom 3.
Well, the
You know
thing,
what I mean?
yeah, well, the thing is, like, for me, like, they, when they did Doom 3, the ending, like, it seemed like it was all in his head kind of thing. But
I
everyone
don't
was
know
still,
about that.
no, like, the thing is, like, everyone was still fucking dead. I was like, then, okay, if he was dreaming about this, what the fuck actually went down,
I
you
I
know?
don't think that was the case just because
Because
okay, Doom 3 okay, you got to think about it. The ending he
he woke up when the Marines came to, pick him up.
yeah, but what I'm saying is there was that whole resurrection of evil. Like you had a whole secondary thing that happened after that too. So
Yeah.
to me, canonically, he was fine. Like that did happen. Like it wasn't just all in his head because
But the thing,
another Marine got involved
but
later
the
on.
thing, the thing, like, so far as we know, like there was other shit going on in the base besides,
All I gotta say is Resurrection of Evil. Resurrection of Evil would have been more in somebody's head. Like dude was walking around with a fucking demon heart and just like
and
like
he was
doing shit with a
and he was okay with it, you know.
he was okay with his hand like when he holds it his hands just like warp and I'm like I would just like as soon as my hands look like that I'm throwing that thing in a corner and I'm walking away. I'm never touching that heart again. But that dude's just like okay, I'm perfectly fine with like utilizing the heart for these crazy powers and I'm just like fine with that. But like dude, that the hands, man, like it still freaks me out to this day what the hands look like. And I was like, the first thought I had playing through that game was like, he's fine with this. He's fine with his hands looking like that. He
Yeah.
looks like he pulled his hands out of a sewer.
It
And
reminds me of if you played Power Slave, it reminds me of the Mummy Staff.
no, I haven't. But yeah,
Yeah,
I get what
but
you're saying.
when you hold the mummy, I believe like in the Power Slave, when you hold the mummy staff, your hand gets decayed. But it's like one of the most powerful weapons there. Okay, let's try this now.
Man, Yuge just makes me laugh.
What?
Just like Yuge art just makes me laugh because like he's an artist and like I'm over here and I don't really do a I do as much programming as I have to, and I'm just all laughing at him the way he struggles sometimes with just his struggles with with the map maker and the other thing, and it's just the way he kind of characterizes it. It's like I don't know how, but I'll look it up later, and then Simpsons meme. I like how one of my favorite Outlier games is gonna get a massive update. Should be coming out here pretty soon. You ever play Echo Point Nova?
So,
It's from the guy who made oh god, Severed Steel. You ever played Severed Steel? You need to play Severed Steel.
I guess so.
You want to see what Severed Steel looks like?
Yeah, give me a second. I'm trying to work out a way.
Wonder if I still have it downloaded. Severed Steel is one of these games where as long as you're stunning, you're invincible. Like essentially, it's almost like you dodge bullets while you're dodging, while you're doing a dodge roll or running off a wall or something like that, and then you're just sort of using gun fu, so like slow down time and a few other things. But the protagonist only has one arm because they got the other arm cut off in the beginning as part of the story, and the one arm is like a cannon and a few other things, and so you're kind of like unloading you're kind of like unloading weapons into people and then throwing the weapon in their face is also like a kill shot, but it's got like a voxel system, so like the walls and a bunch of other things are just destructible, super destructible. And it's a really, really good game. It's got a good vibe. And then this guy went and made another game called Echo Point Nova. You basically get like a hoverboard and a few other things. I'll show you both of them because I play a lot of indies. I love indie games, and that's kind of what I do to get ideas for like mapping and other things. I wanted to get into mapping for indies because I just love indies. I don't like the new games. Like the only new games I've really liked is pretty much Dooms. Other than that, like everything else is watered down. Or it's like Destiny, where it's like the same thing over and over and over again. And it's like, I love playing with you guys, but you guys love really basic content, and I can't stand it unless it's like Razor's Edge content.
Let's see. What am I doing? Oh, yeah.
If it doesn't
War.
salt my meat, if it's a horror game, or if it doesn't like play Razor's Edge as a shooter, I really don't want anything to do with it anymore because there's too many of these cookie cutter, cardboard, not worth your time, overpriced games out here. Like even Borderlands, I'm glad Borderlands started figured out that they were going that way with me. I was like, three was kind of great, guys, but it was kind of still basic. Like you guys need to figure out your movement system. The new one's got a grapple. It's got a whole bunch of crap coming to it. They have like a, I was watching. They have like a rocket launcher where you can jump, and as you're firing the rocket launcher, it's like you're gliding through the air, and it's just like laying missiles out on the ground on enemies. And I was like, that's kind of cool. I'm actually sort of excited for Borderlands 4, even though there's a bunch of controversy because their CEO can't shut his mouth about really tone deaf topics.
Oh,
Stop talking about the price on things, guy. Just charge your price and shut up.
shut up,
Please.
Randy. Shut up, Randy.
Yes, we don't need to hear about how much you cared about us, even though you don't. Just charge the price and get over it.
For fuck's sakes, I own the Duke Nukem franchise. Good old
No,
quote.
he makes me mad because of shit like that. I was like, I look at you like I look at EA. Just charge your price and get over it. Stop talking about the ethics behind your price because I know there's no ethics behind your price. You're charging the maximum amount you can for everything. You always have. That's the reason why Borderlands 3's whole like you came out with 2 season passes and screwed everybody who like I copped out for the super edition of freaking Borderlands 3 and I had to go buy a second season pass to get the other class. Are you kidding me? When the other class is the only thing I cared about when I bought the season pass?
Dude,
Like I want the
come on.
class more than I want the content. Like I would rather have the class than I would because it's more to do than give me like these little levels that they gave us. You know, it's just like give me my shit. You know what I mean? Like stop coming up with multiple seasons. That was one of the first ones that really threw that on people because it wasn't advertised to have multiple passes. And then all of a sudden, when they started talking about an extra class, it was like, is it going to be in the pass or is it not going to be in the pass? And then guess what? It wasn't in the pass. It screwed everybody over. That's why there's been such an uproar over him talking about this crap this time. It's like, fool us once.
Shame on us.
Yeah, but fool us twice. It's not going to happen. We're going to burn you first.
Yeah, it's like, of course, it's like, like, Randy's been doing questionable things, for a very long time. It's like, no wonder why. Huh.
They do it because they get away with.
Oh, at least Valve is just setting a standard.
Not really.
Eh, they've been doing some good.
Not really.
What do you mean? Explain.
How they can never hit the number three?
Actually, there's been leaks there's been some leaks and shows of supposed Half-Life 3.
Yeah, and I'm still mad about Left 4 Dead 3.
Like I told the
Left the reason, okay, us not getting Left 4 Dead 3 is the reason why we got a really shitty back for blood.
yeah. Well, the thing is, like, for me, is like they're making so much money off of Steam, they don't want to barely do any games. But I told my brother this is like this has been a showing pattern for Valve as of late. Like they only make games to sell a product, like Valve Index, Half-Life Alyx, Aperture Dex, Aperture Dex, the Valve and the Steam Deck. It's a showing pattern. So the next game they'll do would be another probably something to show off another product they're gonna sell off. So that's probably what Half-Life 3, if it ever does come out, is gonna be. You know?
I like me some triple enemy count. What other mutators should I use? Let's see, like water. Yeah, I like that one. I gotta remember what mutators I had on. What other mutators you want to see on? I can turn on whatever the fuck. I think I
Yes.
turned on the ones that weren't cheats mainly.
Uh, well,
Makes
the
world cubic.
yeah the meme answer would be yes, and no other answer to that. It would just be simply yes. What do you want? I was like yes, all of it. Do it. Do it now. I need a save image as JPEG because for some reason Steam only likes JPEGs. Yep, it's fine.
Should I do dual wield with gravity gun where I could pull things towards me? Or should I just use the regular plasma grenade? Or should this be a masochist and use no cannon at all?
What game is this anyways?
Severed Steel.
Oh. Do what you feel like it's gonna be either fun or gonna be very hard toward you.
I'm just gonna start the normal.
Do it. You know what was actually kind of disappointing from what's its oh my god, 3D Realms was the supposed was supposed to be the supposed sequel for Bombshell or Iron Maiden.
See how fast you die when you're not stunning.
Yeah.
Basically, this is Firefight. There's a story where you're like speed running through the story essentially, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like the story. Basically, she gets her arm cut off, she gets left for dead, and then she decides she wants to escape from the place. She doesn't want to work for him anymore.
Alright.
And that's the so that's Severed Steel, and then the other one I was originally talking about, which is more fun. I was actually thinking about playing it because they're coming out with a summer update. Is this one? And both of these are real low budget. They're like 10, 15 bucks. I got this one for like $10 on sale.
Before I start updating my mod on Steam, on the Steamy, I need to make sure it all is all working correctly.
They came out with a roguelite mode not too long ago.
Yep. Start. Seems fine. Okay. Title, yep. Start game.
Surprised my buttons don't work. Okay, I figured it out.
Okay. Good thing I checked that. Okay.
They're adding a new overworld soon. I think it's gonna be like an actual ground level map since there's like a Minecraft element to this too with the pickaxe that they're not really utilizing right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I like this. There's just like different encounters set up all over the map, and you kind of just go around and fight them out.
Okay. What is going on here? Oh, trying to find out. Thing. You over here. There. This is correct. Warriors.
You ever play Trepang?
I'll repeat that.
Trepang.
No.
That's another good one. That's an outlier. Gets a lot of weird reviews sometimes, but it's a good game.
85. That's what happened.
Might be your warrior speed. Oh shit, I don't have it downloaded. How do I not have it downloaded?
Okay, that's better. That's what happened. I was like, what the heck? What happened? No! Everything broke. Okay. Well, that was a simple fix. My dyslexia caught up to me and thought a 6 was an 8.
Um,
Okay. Now we go to maps. Maps. So now we just open this up. Open that up. Maps. Take the old one. You put this back in. And you put it down a bit. Press save. Alright. I think that is it.
while I wait,
Alright. Okay. Now do that.
This isn't that. This is Turbo. Waiting on that other one I talked about to download. I didn't realize I didn't have it on this computer. I have it on the other computer.
And that happens.
I love this game though. This is one of my favorites. Feels like Quake. So much more brutal though.
Added.
Wall running unlocked. Okay, cool. Hell yeah.
Hold on, before I do, there's another thing I need to work on. I almost forgot. Forgot.
Ever take me alive, sons of bitches? Fuck, they spawned a bunch of enemies and I got stuck in a wall. Why am I stuck in a wall? Alright, don't play that set of maps. Remember correctly, I think it's just that set of maps. It has a spot on that wall on that one map.
I almost forgot about those. That would have been a little bit embarrassing. Alright. Okay. Maps. Delete. Yep.
Splice today at the Gene Machine. I love how he sounds like Mickey the Mouse telling me to do drugs. Like, listen to this demonic fuck. Is he gonna say something? Say something else. Come on.
Do it. Do it
Yeah.
now.
Said Splice to meet me. Don't be shy, don't bite.
Okay, that's that. Okay, let's try this again. Because I almost forgot about that. Modify.
Let's see, I can get the appropriate music.
F. 1.
Alright, let's go. Micro missiles. Okay, cool. That's a good upgrade. When I get mad at something, I just bash it in the face now. There's a maker for this game too.
Nice.
But it's all in fucking Unity.
Of course it is.
Which is why I don't mess with it. I tried. I actually like this game, if you can't tell. I got the movement down. You got to if you're going to survive once the sloths show up. call them meatballs. They're these things on fucking legs. You can't really chainsaw leg them because the legs keep you from doing that. And they sort of have a pretty brutal fucking missile routine. God damn, them guys have been upgraded. This game's had an update recently, and he's fixed some things, obviously, except for that hole in the wall that I got stuck in. So these guys are just trying to kill. They weren't that strong. Look at them. Look at that three blast. Holy shit. That used to not be a thing.
Yeah.
All right, he's dead. Please tell me the insanity is over. All right, cool.
Alright, I'm gonna call my stream done because I am the update is done.